From the frozen tundras to the lush rainforests, our world is teeming with life, both past and present. Today we venture into the annals of history, to an era shrouded in mystery and intrigue, the Middle Ages. Join me, dear viewers, as we delve into the heart of this bygone era to uncover the peculiar and often outrageous laws that governed everyday life. In this journey through time, we'll be examining 5 of the most absurd punishments meted out in the Middle Ages, offering a glimpse into a world where justice was often harsh, unforgiving, and undeniably strange. Our first foray into the world of medieval law takes us to the bustling marketplaces and crowded streets, where one's attire was not merely a matter of personal taste, but a potent symbol of social standing. Sumptuary laws, as they were known, dictated who could wear what, based on their rank and wealth. These laws were meticulously crafted, outlining everything from the type of fabric to the colors permitted for each social class. Imagine, if you will, a world where a merchant, emboldened by his newfound prosperity, dares to don a robe of fine velvet, a luxury strictly reserved for the nobility. His act of sartorial defiance would not go unnoticed. The eyes of the authorities, ever vigilant, would swiftly identify the transgression. The consequences? Dire indeed. A violation of the sumptuary laws could result in a variety of punishments, from fines to public humiliation. The sumptuary laws, though seemingly trivial to our modern sensibilities, offer a fascinating glimpse into the rigid social structures that defined medieval life. From the realm of fashion, we turn our attention to a more fundamental aspect of medieval life: food, or more specifically, bread. This humble staple, the lifeblood of communities across the land, was not merely a source of sustenance, but a matter of intense scrutiny and regulation. For in the medieval world, baking bad bread was not just a culinary misstep, it was a punishable offense. The bakers of the Middle Ages held a position of vital importance, their ovens churning out the loaves that sustained entire communities. Recognizing this, medieval authorities implemented strict regulations governing the production and sale of bread. These regulations, known as the assize of bread, aimed to ensure fairness in the marketplace and protect the public from unscrupulous bakers. Public shaming was a common recourse, a means of not only punishing the guilty party but also of deterring others from following in their footsteps. The severity of these punishments underscores the importance of bread in medieval society, a matter not to be trifled with. Chapter 3. When music turned torturous, the price of discordant notes. Music, a universal language that transcends time and cultures, held a special place in the medieval world. It was more than just a form of entertainment, it was a vital part of daily life, woven into the very fabric of society. From the soaring melodies of Gregorian chants that echoed through grand cathedrals to the lively tunes of traveling minstrels that brought joy to village squares, music provided solace, entertainment, and a sense of community. It was a source of comfort in times of sorrow and a celebration in times of joy. But even in this realm of artistic expression, the long arm of medieval law cast its shadow. For even musicians were not immune to the whims of justice. Laws and regulations governed their performances, and failure to adhere to these could result in severe consequences. Many musicians were itinerant workers, traveling from town to town in search of patronage and employment. Their lives were often precarious, dependent on the goodwill of their audiences and the favor of the nobility. Their livelihoods depended on their ability to please their audiences, to evoke emotions and create moments of joy. A successful performance could mean a warm meal and a place to sleep, while a poor one could lead to an empty stomach and a cold night. But what happened when the music turned sour, when the notes faltered and the melodies fell flat? The consequences could be dire, as the expectations were high and the tolerance for failure was low. Imagine, if you will, a hapless musician, his fingers stumbling over the strings of his lute, his voice cracking as he attempts to hit the high notes. The pressure to perform flawlessly was immense, and the fear of failure ever present. The crowd, initially amused, grows restless, their patience wearing thin. What began as a chance for entertainment quickly turns into a scene of discontent and frustration. The musician, his head bowed in shame, endures their mockery, a harsh lesson learned. In the medieval world, musical mediocrity was not tolerated. The price of discordant notes was steep, and the repercussions could be long-lasting, affecting the musician's reputation and future opportunities. Chapter 4. The Cruel Muzzle of Silence. Gossiping in the Middle Ages. The marketplace, the well, the doorstep. These were not just physical locations but the very heartbeats of medieval communities. These were the social hubs of the medieval world, places where news, both great and small, was exchanged, where rumors flourished, and gossip reigned supreme. Here, people gathered to share stories, to hear the latest news, and to connect with one another in a time when communication was limited to face-to-face interactions. But in this world of whispered secrets and shared confidences, the line between harmless chatter and dangerous rumor-mongering could be perilously thin. A simple piece of gossip could quickly spiral out of control, leading to misunderstandings, conflicts, and even violence. For the medieval authorities, gossip was not merely an annoyance, it was a potential threat to social order, a spark that could ignite the flames of unrest and discord. They understood that unchecked rumors could undermine their authority and destabilize the community. Those who spread rumors, whether out of malice or mischief, could find themselves facing the wrath of the law, their tongues silenced by the cruel instruments of medieval justice. The consequences were severe, designed to instill fear and maintain control. One such instrument, as chilling in its simplicity as it was in its effectiveness, was the hot iron. This tool was used to brand or pierce the tongues of those found guilty of spreading harmful gossip. Imagine, if you will, a woman accused of spreading vicious lies about her neighbor, her words poisoning the well of community trust. She would be brought before the authorities, her fate hanging in the balance. Her punishment? To have her tongue pierced with a searing hot iron, a brutal reminder of the consequences of her transgression. This act was not just about punishment but also about making an example of the offender. The act, as barbaric as it may seem to our modern sensibilities, served as a potent deterrent, a warning to others who might be tempted to engage in loose talk. Public shaming and physical punishment were tools used to maintain order and discourage the spread of dangerous rumors. Chapter 5. Playing by the rules, when cheating could cost you more than a game. From the hushed whispers of gossip, we turn our attention to the boisterous world of medieval games, where competition was fierce, passions ran high, and the thrill of victory was savored with gusto. These games were not just a pastime, they were a reflection of the social dynamics and values of the time. Winning brought not only personal satisfaction but also social prestige and honor. But even in this realm of play and amusement, the rules of the game were taken seriously, and those who dared to break them faced swift and often severe consequences. The medieval society had a strict moral code, and games were no exception. Cheating was seen as a direct affront to this code, undermining the very fabric of trust and fairness that held the community together. Now imagine a group of men gathered around a table, their faces illuminated by flickering candlelight, their eyes fixed on the roll of the dice. The air is thick with anticipation, each player hoping for a favorable outcome. The stakes are high, not just in terms of money, but also in terms of reputation and honor. A game of chance is underway, the stakes high, the tension palpable. Every roll of the dice could mean the difference between triumph and disgrace. The players are engrossed, their focus unbroken, each move calculated and deliberate. Suddenly a cry rings out, accusations of cheating, of loaded dice, of sleight of hand. The atmosphere shifts instantly from one of camaraderie to one of suspicion and hostility. The accused stands defenseless, the weight of the accusation heavy upon him. The mood, once jovial, turns sour, the spirit of camaraderie shattered. The game, once a source of joy and entertainment, becomes a battleground of accusations and denials. Trust is broken, and the social bonds that held the group together are strained to the breaking point. In the medieval world, cheating at games was not taken lightly. It was more than just a breach of the rules, it was a breach of trust, a violation of the social contract that bound the community together. The consequences were severe, reflecting the gravity of the offense. It was seen as a breach of trust, a stain on one's honor, and a sign of moral turpitude. The community viewed cheaters with disdain, and their actions were considered a reflection of their character. Honor was everything in medieval society, and to lose it was to lose one's place in the social hierarchy. The punishments for cheating varied depending on the severity of the offense and the social standing of the guilty party. For the wealthy and influential, a hefty fine might suffice, serving as both a punishment and a deterrent. For others, the consequences could be far more severe. In some cases, a hefty fine might be imposed, the financial penalty serving as a deterrent and a reminder of the cost of dishonesty. The fine was not just a monetary loss, but a public acknowledgement of one's guilt and a stain on one's reputation. For some, the punishment went beyond mere financial penalties, leading to social ostracism and a lifetime ban from public games. This social exclusion was perhaps the most severe punishment of all, as it stripped the individual of their social identity and place within the community. The cheater became an outcast, a living reminder of the cost of dishonesty. As we emerge from the shadowy corridors of medieval history, we are left with a sense of awe and perhaps a touch of amusement at the lengths to which societies went to maintain order and enforce their version of justice. The punishments we've explored, from public shaming rituals to the cruel use of instruments like the scold's bridle, might seem outlandish and even comical by today's standards. Yet they offer us a valuable glimpse into the mindset of a bygone era, a time when life was often harsh, unforgiving, and governed by a set of rules and beliefs vastly different from our own. If you found this journey through the annals of medieval law as fascinating as I did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more captivating historical content, and don't forget to share your thoughts and questions in the comments below.